Okay, hi guys. Today I'm going to do what if Deku was Alien X or have the power to have Alien X power. Let me explain something before I get into the video. For all my past videos, I'm sorry that I couldn't make it better because I'm using uh I'm using my device the best I could. So bear with me, guys. And for the second thing now, this what if is gonna be different from everyone what if. It's not gonna be like when Benton has the Omnitrix, and no, the Omnitrix isn't gonna be in this one. What if? Cause I don't want whoever has the Omnitrix to just accidentally have Deku within him. No, this what if is gonna be based on pure honesty, and I'm gonna see how I can play it through. So guys, bear with me. If you like my videos, subscribe to my channel, like and comment what kind of what let me know what kind of what if you do you want me to do. Give me ideas, and the person with the most likes, I will guarantee that I will give you guys that what if. If you guys want what if Deku, what if Naruto, or what if Luffy, I can do them, but let me guys know what kind of what if you want. Anyway, let's get started into the video. Sorry for wasting your time. And how can I start this? When Deku was born, he he was different from everyone. He has green. He would be the same. When he was born, he would be the same. Green hair, but something would be different. Yes, he would have full control of Alien X powers. Cause why? Let's just say the two beings that in there see the future if Deku didn't have the power. So they decided to give Deku their full power and gave him full control. Sorry about that. Gave him the full control of Alien X powers, form, which Deku didn't know anything about. So when they granted Deku this power, no one did. The form the forms actually disappeared. Not the form, the minds of them would disappear. But it would only reappear when Deku called for help. They would only guide Deku and tell him if it's right or wrong. Cause Deku is basically all that powerful. So when Deku was about 4, he really knows everything. By then, he knows what happened to him and how powerful he is. But he wouldn't be able to transform like into Alien X as yet. I'm gonna leave that because he's gonna do some different training. And Deku would honestly be bullied, but Deku would just take it. And if you're wondering why I'm making Deku being bullied, you're gonna be in for a shock of your life. They're gonna shock all of them. When Deku was being bullied after, I'm gonna do a major time skip, guys, because I really can't be on. No, not really big time skip. When Deku was 5 years old, he didn't. He wasn't. When no, not 5. When 6 years old, Deku wouldn't be as much bullied. And if you're wondering who else I'm adding in there, yes, I'm gonna add Katsumi and Izumi, because I can't really leave them behind because I don't know. No, I don't know why. Cause I kind of like how they craft. Cause I don't know. And if you're wondering where I got this what is from, I watched it previously and I didn't just like how the person created it. So Deku was bullied by the three of them for 6 years for not having a quirk. And yes, he wouldn't have a quirk because Deku knows what his power is. He's stronger than all of them, so he wouldn't just show it off. When Deku was 6 years old, being bullied, Deku would honestly go home, see Inko and Alma. Alma would just ignore Deku, and yes, Alma is his father in this one. I don't know why. Sorry guys about that, my little brother. I have to do my recording with my little brother for this one. Sorry guys. So if you hear any baby noise, I'm sorry. I will see if I can work things out. So Deku would proceed proceed to ignore by his two parents and just see Katsumi, Izumi, and Bakugo. And Deku would be surprised by this because, Deku with all the power in the world and the knowledge. But he wouldn't decide to help anyone because, he one wrong move of his power in one wrong move of his power and it would basically be game over. But where he's going to go for training is going to be completely different. So by the age of, I don't know, 8, Deku finally understand that his parents doesn't even love him or care about him. They only use him for, like whatever they want, like punching bag or whatever. So Deku had enough and decided to warp to the dimension of the Alien X. Yes, and I mentioned it. Deku can warp. He actually have the power of of Alien X where he can warp. So Deku would basically basically go in there because he was basically pissed at his parents, but all of the Alien X would see this and they would feel sorry for him and decide to train him. One of them would be the strongest of all. I'm gonna leave it up to you guys because I'm really not in the mood for this picture because yeah, I'm not gonna look it up. So Deku would be there training for about 14 years on in the dimension of Alien X. He would master his form, and this is where he would actually get this form. Yes, the one you see right here, he would actually have it, but without the Omnitrix on it. He would have the Omnitrix symbol on it, because I told you, I'm not doing the crossover with Ben 10 and, this one. Yes, it may be like that, but I'm not gonna put the Omnitrix in that world, because whoever have it may be it. Because I'm not gonna give it to anyone in that way. No one is gonna have the Omnitrix. Yeah, so Bakugo wouldn't have it, no one. That means the Omnitrix didn't fly to their world, it flew to another dimension. So Deku would be there and train, and he mastered all of his powers. That means he can literally do anything he wants. So when Deku returns back to, the world underneath a bridge by accident, cause he still haven't gotten down on the whole teleportation thing. Deku would be walking, but he'll still be in this form by accident, cause he forgot to turn it off, cause I don't know. Deku would accidentally forgot. So when Deku was walking under the bridge, he sensed the sludge villain and sees that his quirk is unstable. So Deku would turn around waiting for the sludge villain to pop up, like in canon, but it would basically go different. Cause Deku is in this form, Deku is more like a peacekeeper than a warmonger. Cause all Alien X have their own universe and such to control. So Deku is their universe's Alien X. Yeah. So when Deku sensed the sludge villain coming, he basically activate one of his power. I don't really. Sorry about that, guys. My baby brother is stressed me. He's cute and all, but he's so trouble. So when Deku senses this, when Deku sees the sludge villain coming, he would activate a barrier around him, and the sludge villain would be surprised that, because no one has been able to, really know what's going to happen. And Deku asked the sludge villain one question: would you like your quirk to be fixed? The sludge villain seen hearing this saying, what do you mean fixed? Deku would say that your quirk is unstable. And the sludge villain would say, yes, my quirk is unstable, but there's no one in the world can fix a quirk. It's impossible. The sludge villain would start to tell Izuku about his backstory, but Izuku would need that because he knows everyone. Literally, he's Alien X but 10 times stronger than Ben 10 one. You find out what I mean. So when Deku hears this about his backstory, he asks the same question again, and the sludge villain would say yes. he would like that. So Deku literally put his hand up and create a little circle around it. And he would say the same thing as Alien Six, Alien X, but he wouldn't say seconded, like the jury, yeah. He would basically say Quirk. You would say motion Quirk rewind. No, not motion Quirk rewind. He would basically motion Quirk fix. So when Deku on the uh, released the barriers from where the sludge villain was, the sludge villain was basically not sludge anymore. He would basically be having human legs and everything. And if you're wondering how strong is Alien X, well, how can I put it? He can punch the sun and it would disappear instant. Yes, that is how physical strong Alien X form is. He can basically destroy the sun or and whatever, create new universes. Cause that's Deku's plan to create new universes, and you're gonna find out why I'm making him create new universes. So when Deku fixed the sludge villain's quirk, the the sludge villain would be in shock and saying he would basically start cry, saying thank you to Izuku many times over. Izuku would say just remember to turn yourself in, cause cause he did rob a bank, and Deku would disappear cause he doesn't want anyone to know that he he is back. Not even Izumi, Katsumi, and Bakugo. Izumi would be a little bit worried about his brother, but she wouldn't really care. Katsumi would look a bit care, but she wouldn't pay attention to it. Bakugo wouldn't even care less. So for the 10-month training arc, yeah, I'm not doing that because Deku Deku decided to use his human side. And if you're wondering how strong his human form is compared to Alien X, well, you Mars is the biggest planet, right? He can split that in half with only one punch. Yeah, he can break the literal Mars in half with one punch. That is how strong he is. But he does put limit on how he output his strength. Just not just to be careful, because he doesn't want to accidentally break the world. Yeah. And this is my one time what if. This is my another what if. So, guys, I'm just gonna make this a little bit quick because Deku. I'm gonna I'm gonna say. So the sludge villain incident wouldn't happen with Bakugo or Katsumi or. Right. Sorry guys, my little brother. Sorry. So Deku would so when Deku did the 10-month training arc, he basically trained in his human form, doing different the strongest test he could ever put himself through. He decided to create 5 black orbs and make them attack him simultaneously faster than how he can seize them. So he can work on how fast he can see things. And Deku would continue to do this, training all of his five senses that he has until it would basically be strong enough that no one could even be able to tell that he was even there. And yeah, that would basically be that what Deku does for the 10-month training. He would hone his senses of a human. Cause he has Alien X power now, so he can transform into him if he want. But once he try using his human form. And for the entrance exam, Deku would know everything. So they wouldn't know that Izuku, cause his hair is basically grown out. His hair is basically grown out to like, let's say, the back. His hair would be that long. And none of them would be able to recognize that Izuku. So when Deku realized that they didn't recognize him, but he recognized the 3 of them, and that he would see that the three of them are more cocky than ever. And Deku would decide to put them in their place a little bit in this one, because you know how Deku is overpowered, Gary. Deku would walk into the written portion of the exam, acing it, because Alien X, all knowledge. So he wouldn't be worried. So Deku would be waiting for, President Mike to come and do the introduction for the. Sorry about that, guys. I really am planning on getting that thing fixed. Deku would proceed to sit down and just chill about it, cause he's not gonna be cocky like Bakugo. He's just gonna be calm, collective, and cool. Let's just say that he doesn't really care about his father, aka All Might, and his mother. Even though they gave birth to him, he wouldn't really care about them. So Deku wouldn't really care about any of them. But when President Mike, did the little speech about the 0-pointer, the 1-pointer, the 2-pointer, the 3-pointer, this is where Izuku literally knows that someone is about to say something, but he didn't say not to get up. It would be Tenya Ida. He got up and. Sorry about that, guys. My brother, I really need to put him to bed. So, Deku would basically. Ida would basically do the same thing as in canon, but instead of pointing at Izuku, he would point at Uchaku, Maraka, the blonde. I'm just gonna do it. Sorry, guys, I just ruined the person. Sorry. He would basically point at Uchaku, Maraka, the blonde girl. But Izuku already knows her name, so I'm just gonna spoil it. Izuku knows that Uchaku Maraka, saying that if you're gonna keep muckering, please be quiet about it. The rest of us is trying to concentrate. And President Mike could basically be a little bit mad about this, because sorry that guys, I'll be back. I'm gonna put him to his bed. Thanks. So wait. Sorry guys, I couldn't get him to sleep, so I just have to stay with it. So basically, President Mike would be a little bit pissed, because he knows what he's dealing with, because every year he has done it before. So before President Mike could say a word, Deku would stand up and told Ida that you're being awful noisy, and you're the one who's distracting more everyone instead of the girl. And Ida would try to say something, but Izuku said that, isn't it bad enough that you're wasting everyone's time here, Ida? Be quiet and sit down. Ida would be embarrassed about this. Embarrassed by this, cause he's an ingenium. But Ida would just simply sit down and be embarrassed while everyone's laughing. But President Mike would actually say, "Thank you, candidate 1002." Yeah, I'm just gonna give him that number. So President Mike would continue saying that the 0-point is only an obstacle to avoid. When Deku got out, he realized that the same girl is over there, but she would be nervous. She would be nervous because, the UA entrance exam. And for the ship in this one, I'm just gonna make the same thing as in canon, but it wouldn't be in canon as yet, because everyone knows who the ship is going to be already. Ochako, Maraka, and Deku. Which Deku wouldn't see that. And you find out why. Hold on guys, I'm sorry about that. Sorry about that guys. But when Deku was going to, going to chirp the girl. Tenya either tries to stop him, but Deku teleports in front of her and gave her, and she would basically be surprised about this, saying, "How did you get from?" But Deku would say, "No matter, just run, just follow me." Deku gave extend his hand to her, and she took it and teleport within the the robot, the entrance exam, the physical entrance exam. And Uchaku Maraka would ask, "What is she? What is? What are they doing in here?" Deku say, "Heroes don't wait on villain attacks." So Uchaku would take this to the heart, and train, and she would start getting points. After she gets about 70 points, Deku decided to enter this state. He would enter into his first Alien X, and use one of the powers, and he would basically obliterate all the robots, including the massive zero point that were under the ground. All the teachers, including All Might and Inko, cause they're heroes, and they're heroes, and they just need to watch and see who is the strongest. When everyone asks who is this kid name, and when they see Izuku Midoriya, everyone would be in shock. All Might and Inko would be in shock because they said that their son didn't have a quirk. But what is this power? Sorry about that, guys. I really need to get rid of that. And they would ask what is their son's power, and Deku would basically finish it. But before he goes, he snapped his finger and teleports back. And everything that he did would be reversed, cause he couldn't just leave the students out there without any points. Hold on, guys, back. But that guys, and Deku would be fine with the points he got, and Uchaku Maraka would basically rank up more points, like up to 90, and Deku would be teleporting out of there. And if you're wondering where Deku lives, let's just say he can travel in between dimensions, so he lives in a dimensional world that no one can touch him. And yeah, Deku would be waiting a year until he realized that Shota Aizawa is currently looking for him. So Deku make himself present, not really in this form, but in a half and half state. He would basically have the arms and legs of Alien X, like he's just transformed into a demi form of him. And Aizawa wouldn't be in shock, cause it's Aizawa, cause he knows this kid. Since he knows that this kid is so powerful and all that, so yeah, he wouldn't be shocked if he could do that. And Aizawa would say that you got into UA, come at school at this exact date, like Monday and Monday. So Deku would decide to go on Monday, and when Deku got there, he would basically imagine UA and that and all of that. But he would go to Nezu's office, and he asked Nezu if he know what is an Alien X. But Nezu would know about Alien X because he only heard myth and legend about it, because it's basically all that, saying that Alien X is as powerful as a god. He could basically destroy and bring calamity, but some would bring prosperity and such. And Deku wouldn't be surprised about this because it's Nezu. Nezu basically knows that Alien X. Because, yeah, it's Nezu. Nezu would ask, why are you here then? He would say that he's only here to evaluate that things that need to be corrected. Nezu would just be there standing, saying that it's okay, You can do what you need to be done. Cause Nezu knew that if he go up against Deku, he would last not even 5 seconds. Not even five, not even a second, not even a millisecond. I'm just making that thing up. And Deku proceed to go to his class, knowing where 1A is, cause all knowledge. He would basically go to UA class 1A and he sees that the three of them are there: Katsumi, Bakugo, and Izumi. And they wouldn't know who this is because remember, Deku still has his hair that long and his face still covers with a mask. And everyone is wondering who this kid is, but Uchaku Murako sees him and call him. Let's just say he call him Black, cause I don't want anyone to know his name until it reached the test that Aizawa is gonna give them. So Deku would say hi to Uchaku Muraka and told her that the teacher is coming, but not to worry about orientation because they're not gonna do it. Uchaku would wonder and ask, "What do you mean?" Deku would say that you will find out soon. So Aizawa, hearing this, decides to just do it anyway because Deku ruined his plan and he would make himself appearance saying that to come down to this training and they're gonna do a quirk assessment test. Uchaku would see this and to remember what Deku says, and she would even ask a second time about orientation. She would basically go. She would go downstairs and change. Everything would happen within canon, like Mineta trying to be perfect, but this time Izuku stopped him and saying that that's not gentleman. And Deku would basically told Mineta, if you do that again, I'll break your face. Which Mineta is scared because he doesn't know what Deku's quirk is. And he back off and leave don't peep at the girls. And what can I say? Aizawa would call up the first place holder of the UA entrance exam. Obviously, those three would try to go argue and say that it was them, but All Might just says, "Izuku Midoriya, would you mind showing up?" Deku would walk up there, and everyone, the Bakugo, Katsumi, and Izumi would be surprised, saying, "That's Izuku, I couldn't even barely recognize him." And he said, "What are you gonna do, quirkless nerd? Throw the ball at 75%?" The three of them would begin to laugh, but Deku decided to show them the power that he holds now. When Deku just, I thought tried to erase his quirk, but I thought couldn't because it's not really a quirk. It's basically pure energy. I don't know if I get it right, guys. So let me know in the comments if I get it right. And when Deku throw the ball in the air, Deku would throw the ball in the air, but when Aizawa check at, you take out his distant meter and sees that it's gone infinite, Aizawa just drop it. Aizawa would be shocked, but Aizawa would just, say that, you know what, I'm not even gonna tell you guys anything. He'd only show them it and say, and Deku got infinite. Everyone seeing this, including Katsumi and Bakugo, saying that how can he be this strong? They all began to rush at them, try to use their quirk, but Deku just, Deku would do anything but step right in front of them and creating a shockwave, knocking them down. And the same thing will go as for the quirk assessment test, but Deku will get first in everything. And let me know in the comments if I should expel Mineta, because I have no clue. Okay guys, I'll be back. And that's where I think that's where I'm gonna just leave it up, guys. Bye.